I hate Chongyun. Period. But here's the thing about that. We don't have to deal with Chongyun anymore. We have another Cryo Greatsword user. That's right. We have the third of the siblings. We had Lyney, we had Lynette, and now for part 2 of version 4.0, we have Freminet. Yes, Freminet is the newest character in Genshin Impact, and honestly, I've been struggling with how to intro this for so long. But I digress. We're not here to talk about my terrible ways of doing intros. We're here to talk about how you can ascend your Freminet to level 90, and of course, how to build your Freminet. Now, before we get into that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and hit that notification bell to be notified when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Guys, always use 10% off of code, use 10% off with code Tystra on Gamer Subs. Link in the description. We have a sale going out today at 12 o'clock. So make sure you're there. You could get a free waifu cup with any purchase of any tub right now. So get it, got it, good. Get yourself a waifu cup. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the actual meat of today's video. Freminet, a Cryo Claymore user. Yes, the newer, more improved Chongyun. I'll get into that here in just a bit. But let's go ahead and first talk about how you're going to ascend your Freminet from level 1 to level 90. First things first, as always, you're going to need these little silvers, the fragments, the chunks, and the gemstones. These are the Shivada series. That's what it is. I always mix Shivada and Shivada. The Shivada series is the actual cryo ones. So you could get these from the Cryo Hypostasis, the Cryo Regisvine. You could actually get it from the duo that's in Koinomiya. I can't remember the names for the life of me. You can have them drop from Boreas. There's so many different ways that you could actually get these little things. Now, of course, you're gonna need 1 silver, you're gonna need 9 fragments, you're gonna need 9 chunks, and you're gonna need 6 of the gemstones. And of course, as we talked about before, 3 silvers make a fragment, 3 fragments make a chunk, and 3 chunks make a gemstone. Pretty simple, easy to go with. Now, of course, you're also going to need these Artifice Spare Clockwork components, Copulius. Now, Copulius is actually the second part of the actual, what's it called? The Icewind Suite boss. Now, there's 2 versions of this boss. Normally you're gonna go for the top one, and that's to ascend your Lynette. But the second one is to ascend your Freminet here, and that's where Copulius is. You're gonna need 46 of these, which results in about, if you get 2 per run, upwards to 23 runs. But if you get 3 per run, it's a lot less. I was going through it, guys. Like, I was farming this boss for so long, and I really wanted to bash my head against the wall. I still haven't fully ascended my Freminet here, but we'll get into that here a little bit. Now, of course, you're gonna need this Romaritime flowers. Now, these ones, you have to use a hydro character to water them so that they bloom. There's a good chunk of them on the map. I believe when I saw last time, it was about 75, and you can get 75 every 3 days. So that's pretty good. In about like a whole week's time, basically, a little bit more, you could actually have 168 of these, which is exactly what you need to ascend Freminet from level 1 to level 90. On top of that, the newest enemy that has dropped in the game, which is the same little hydro buddies that we saw in version 3.8 and the whole event that we had, but now they're actually mean. They actually use bubble beam, and it's really bad. You're getting attacked by bubbles, but you got to defeat those hydro droplets to get the transoceanic pearls. There we go. And then you can make those transoceanic pearls to make the xenochromatic crystals, which you need 3 of these chunks to make the crystal. So pretty straightforward on that one. Now, you're gonna need a lot of, the transonic pearls, the transonic chunks, and the crystals. I can't believe I missed that. You're gonna need 3 of these whites to make the green, 3 of the greens to make the blue. Just an easy peasy lemon squeezy. And you're gonna need a lot of them, so just be prepared for that. I believe if I saw correctly, we have them right down here. You're gonna need 18 of the transoceanic pearls. You're going to need 30 of the transoceanic chunks, and you're going to need 36 of the xenochromatic crystals. Now, as we go down here, we're gonna talk about what you'd have to go through to triple crown your boy here. I don't know why you would triple crown Freminet. Again, we'll get to that here in just a little bit. I have my own beef with that. But here is what you're going to need to triple crown Freminet. Now, you're going to need 9 total of Teachings of Justice. You're going to need 63 of these Guides to Justice, and you're going to need 114 of these Philosophies of Justice. Now, this comes from the domain that actually gives you the materials for these talent ascensions. Now, these are open on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, because Sunday's universal. You can get anything you want from there. But to get these Teachings of Justice, you can need Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Now, remember, 3 of these teachings make a guide, 3 of these guides make a philosophy. So be ready for that. Now, of course, we're going to need more of those water droplet drops. Water droplet drops. Okay. We're going to need a grand total of 18 more of these transoceanic pearls. You're going to need 66 more of the transoceanic chunks. And you're going to need 93 xenochromatic crystals on top of what you needed before. So again, that's going to be a tough order, especially since, there's not a lot that you get to fight on the world yet. So when Fountaine expands, there will be a lot more, and it'll probably be a lot easier for you to triple crown Freminet here if that's what you're into. Now, of course, we do also need these world span ferns, which you get from a pep in Sumeru. We haven't gotten a world boss in Fountaine just yet. Be ready for it. It's gonna happen. And then you're gonna need 18 of those, of the world span ferns. So yeah, that's a lot of farming. You can only get these rewards once a week, and you get like 2 at a time. So just, yeah, it's a grind for sure. And then of course 3 crowns of insight. And between ascending your Freminet and also triple crowning your Freminet, between ascending your Freminet and also triple crowning your Freminet, you're going to need a grand total of 7.1 million Mora. It's a lot of Mora. Trust me, I know it's a hassle and I hate it myself, but it is what it is. It's what we gotta do. All right. That's where we're gonna end that part on. Okay. Now, of course, we also gotta talk about the fact that we gotta build our Freminet. Now, my Freminet is not completely done, so I will be using the Freminet that is part of the trial. Yes, it's cheating, I know, but this Freminet is pretty close to the way that I'm building my Freminet anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's go ahead and talk about the stats first that you're going to be building your Freminet on, and that requires us to look at these artifacts. Now, this artifact set, Blizzard Strayer, is actually the artifact set that I'm building on my Freminet, so that's a plus. This actually works out perfect in my favor, and the reason why you want to build him with a Blizzard Strayer is, one, he would work really, really well on a freeze comp team, and that works out for his 4-piece. 4-piece Blizzard Strayer is when a character attacks an opponent affected by cryo, their crit rate is increased by 20%. If the opponent is frozen, their crit rate is increased by an additional 20%. So for me, I like being part of the at least 40 crit rate gang. So that's perfect. You don't have to worry about putting too much more crit rate into your Freminet. It's a win-win. Now, because of that, your split will look kind of like this initially, but with the freeze, your crit rate is going to go up to 66% on this one, on this little thing right here. So don't pay attention to this. Your stats might be a lot better than this one, I know, but just give it a little bit of time, okay? Trust me on that. Dude, did Freminet just fall asleep? Is he good? Are you good, homie? He's good. We'll let him sleep. But for your artifacts, you want to focus solely on crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, and kind of a mixture between of elemental mastery and energy recharge. I was seeing that people were saying elemental mastery over energy recharge, but I always like being able to do my burst, so it's all dependent on what you want to do. I don't blame you if you choose elemental mastery over energy recharge. It is what it is. I don't blame you. Let's go ahead and talk about weapons on this guy. So, what I don't agree with is using the Royal Greatsword. Now, I know the Royal Greatsword would work okay on Freminet. Upon damaging an opponent, increases crit rate by 8%, max 5 stacks. You already have 66 crit rate, so you're gonna do just fine without this. So you could focus on something that's gonna give you a little bit more power. If you have a Wolf's Gravestone as a 5-star, or even the Song of Broken Pines, you could use those. Hell, even Unforged, or even the Beacon of, what's it called? The Beacon of, I have it right here. The Beacon of the Reed Sea. Is it Red Sea or Reed Sea? I can't remember. Does it 1 E or 2 E's? Anyway, you can use any of those 5-star weapons. If you want to use a 4-star, if you are hellbent on using a 4-star, and you desperately want that crit rate buff, you could go for, like, you know, Serpent Spine, which is easily obtainable through Battle Pass. Or you could go with Rain Slasher, which Rain Slasher, you know, has a use, so that's cool. But honestly, I would go for more of a Wolf's Gravestone. Now, Royal Greatsword works as well. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but for me personally, I wouldn't use it because I've already had that crit rate if we're going off of this build. Oh, shoot. I'm not done yet. I was looking over his stuff, gosh darn it. Now, other artifact sets that you can use, I know we kind of skipped over this a little bit to talk about the stats you want to focus on, but you could use other sets on him. Because of the fact that he's got a cryo physical split, you could use a 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, or if you want to go more physical, you could use the 4-piece Pale Flame. Me, I would say go, you know, cryo, because then you don't have to worry too much about your crit rate on the Pale Flame set. You could also use a 2-piece of attack bonuses between, what was it? The Shimenawas and then Gladiators, or you could do a 2-piece physical set with the what do I got here? What is it? There's a 2-piece physical set. I can't remember what it is. Don't mind me. I'm kind of dumb right now. Oh, it's a Bloodstain. Bloodstain. That's what it is. 2-piece Bloodstain, or you could do a 2-piece sorry, I'm going out of my mind right now. 4-piece Blizzard Strayer is your top one, followed by a 4-piece Pale Flame, or you could use also a 2-piece Bloodstain with a 2-piece Shimenawas, a 2-piece Blizzard Strayer with a 2-piece Bloodstain. You could do a 2-piece Gladiators with a 2-piece Bloodstain. There's so many different combinations that you could use to work with this Chongyun 2.0. Freminet, whatever you want to call him, that's basically what he looks like to me. Now, let's go ahead and go over talents, because we're not too worried about what you're going to be doing with, you know, say, the stuff. We're not going to worry too much about that. Let's start out with the skill. The skill is Pressurized Flow. Performs an upward thrust that deals cryo damage and causes Freminet to enter Purse Timer for 10 seconds. While Purse Timer is active, his elemental skill will turn into Shattering Pressure. Now, Shattering Pressure executes different sorts of attacks based on the pressure level of Purse Timer, and then cancels Purse Timer. Level 0 unleashes a vertical cut, dealing cryo damage. Levels 1 to 3 unleashes a vertical cut alongside Purse, dealing cryo damage and physical damage, so the damage is split. Damage dealt scales based on pressure level. Level 4 borrows the power of a fully pressurized Purse and deals physical damage. Meanwhile, normal attack, Flowing Eddies, will be released by Shattering Pressure. His Purse Timer, and this is a lot. Like, his kit is so excruciating to me because of how much there is to it for so little output. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Purse Timer, when Freminet uses normal attacks, he will also unleash waves of frost that deal cryo damage and increase Purse Timer's pressure level. The accompanying cryo damage dealt this way is considered elemental skill damage. And then Arc Fuma, at certain intervals after using the upward thrust, a Spirit Breath Thorn in the form of another upward thrust will be created, dealing Fuma aligned cryo damage. And then of course, let's go into his burst, which is Shadow Hunter's Ambush, unleashes a wave of untouchable cold, dealing AoE cryo damage, resetting the cooldown of the elemental skill Pressurized Flow, and causing Freminet to enter the Subnautical Hunter mode for 10 seconds. While in Subnautical Hunter mode, Freminet's resistance to interruption will increase, and his elemental skill, Pressurized Flow, will obtain the following buffs, with a cooldown being decreased by 70%, normal attacks will increase the Purse Timer by 1 additional pressure level, and the frost released by his normal attacks deal 200% of the original damage. These effects cannot be cancelled when Freminet, or these effects will be cancelled when Freminet leaves the field. Now, that's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, but honestly, you'll see exactly what it is. It's just beating people with your Unga Dunga stick and being able to use certain pressurized flows. It's a matter of timing between the physical and the cryo damage, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. But again, we'll get into that here in just a second. Now, his first Ascension passive, Saturation Deep Dive. When Freminet unleashes Pressurized Flow Shattered Pressure, if Burst Timer has yet to reach pressure level 4, the cooldown on Pressurized Flow will be decreased by 1 second. And then, of course, his second Ascension passive, Parallel Condensers. When Freminet triggers Shatter against opponents, the damage dealt by Pressurized Flow Shattering Pressure will be increased by 40% for 5 seconds. That was a lot of words. A lot of words. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this. Now, as you can see, I will give benefit, or I will give credit where credit is due. Freminet's attacks seem fast. And of course, his thing right there, that's his E. And it works pretty well. Now, as you can see, now my blade is Cryo Damage Boy. Fantastic. But the whole goal is to get the freeze going to trigger your Blizzard Strayer and also be able to power up your cryo damage. That's why we got people like Mika to help out with the physical part of the damage as well. Of course, Xingqiu, because when you're going Flingy Boy, you want to make sure that Xingqiu has got that extra little burst on him to help you out with a little bit more hydro damage, giving you more chances to freeze while you're in your burst and be able to help out. And of course, Barbara, because she's always Hydro Applicator. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into Hydro Application right here. We're gonna activate Persistent Strike. We're gonna start working on this stuff, get the energy, boom. Now, we can start actually doing damage. Now, as you can see, the Blizzard Strayer and this, we did 17k on that. And now we activate the Subnautical mode. And I will say in general, like, his stuff is good. And you can keep on activating the E and it's gonna keep on resetting as you're going through. But at the same time, I feel as though, like, it works in a certain aspects. I don't think that Freminet, as you can see here, is like gonna be out damaging a lot of others. But I feel so underwhelmed by him, you know? But again, he's a 4-star, and is he a decent 4-star DPS? Absolutely. As you just saw, he was able to pull off 17k, and this is just the like trial version. You could make him even better, and you could use him with other characters. The amount of damage that this boy is going to be able to do is pretty dang good. Overall, am I excited for Freminet? Not entirely, but I can see where people want to use him. I know that a lot of people love their cryo physical greatsword users. I'm talking to you, Eula. I'm not talking about you, Chongyun. But honestly, like, it seems more he's like the Chongyun or the Razor of greatsword users, where he's splitting that physical and cryo damage or elemental damage or whatever. He works great in a freeze comp team, which sucks for me because my companionship team has Lyney, Lynette, and Freminet, and they work in tandem with like Lyney and Lynette to Freminet, but Freminet to Lyney doesn't really work out for me because it just doesn't work. But I digress. Is Freminet good? You could make him good. I say play whatever character you like. If you like to split your damage between physical and cryo, you'll get a kick out of this. But if you're like me and you like your just solid elemental damage, he's not going to be a character for you. Plus, Unga Dunga, he's just going to beat you with the stick. That's how I feel about it. And of course, that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again with another Genshin Impact video very soon. Guys, I just want to say I'm so thankful for all the love and support y'all have been giving me as of late. I was down sad boy hours, you know, wondering if I was doing right by y'all, and it seems like you guys have been liking the videos as of late, so please thank you. Please keep it up. Like, subscribe, help me out with the algorithm, comment. I'll do my best to reply back. So anyways, y'all, that's gonna be it. Love you all to death, and as always, we will catch you all in the next video. Please take care and be safe, y'all.